Hello, greetings from SUGHYD. Today's event focuses on deep dive into Sitecore content and authoring API presented by Chandrakanth, hosted by Vishal and Yamini. Over to you, Chandrakanth.
Yeah, thanks, Yamini, for accepting my proposal for presenting at the SUG Hyderabad. This is my first presentation. I'll start sharing my screen. Let me know once you are able to see.
Yes, we see the presentation.
Okay. Yeah, today I will be presenting a session on deep dive into Sitecore Authoring and Management API. Before we deep dive into the topic, just a quick introduction about myself. I am Chandrakanth Gunda. Currently, I am working as a Sitecore architect at Persistent System. I have over 9+ years of experience in Sitecore. I started from Sitecore
AI kena pwede.
7.2.
Photo AI kena pwede.
Others, can
Yeah,
you please go on mute?
yeah. I started with Sitecore 7.2 and gradually now I'm working on Sitecore XM Cloud. I had experience in all types of projects, upgrading from lower version to higher version, upgrading from MVC to SXA and MVC to headless, as well as Sitecore XP to XM and XM to XM Cloud as well. Also, I have experience of migrating from a different system to Sitecore as well. Yeah, I am available on LinkedIn, and you can reach out to me on this my personal email chandrakantvanagunda@gmail.com, and there is a hash note blog I'm maintaining. You can follow me there as well. Yeah, moving to the agenda of the meeting today. So today I will be giving a brief introduction about what exactly is Sitecore Authoring and Management API is, and then I will be uh, just explaining about how we create an automation client, then how do we generate a token, then we'll explore on different mutations that are available in the authoring API. Then we will be focusing on certain use cases where this authoring API can be applied. So first of all, why this is important is that like for everyone who is working on Sitecore, previously we used to rely on item API to perform any CRUD operations on Sitecore. But with evolution of XM Cloud, as we know customizations or we cannot host our own API, so GraphQL API this has become more prominent. The other options were like we can use PowerShell to perform any CRUD operations on Sitecore instance, but there are some limitations with that PowerShell, particularly if we want to execute outside the Sitecore system. If I want to call it, make any operations out from the outside, that is not possible. Even if we enable remote PowerShell, there are certain security limitations. So considering the agentic model or currently the era of AI agents, we should be able to speak with Sitecore without any performing action. So for that purpose, this Sitecore authoring and management GraphQL API can be used. It is very easy to use and it is a standard GraphQL and it is kind of a upgrade proof. Even if Sitecore upgrades, this query language remains the same. And also it is only a single endpoint. We only have a single endpoint for the all the operations. We only have a single API, single endpoint. So by default, the API endpoint is slash Sitecore slash API slash authoring slash GraphQL slash v1. This is the API endpoint. It also provides a playground where we can test it out our queries by it provides certain intelligence and suggestions where we can learn and know get to more about in from the GraphQL in the playground. So the playground is actually by default it's not enabled. To enable the playground in XM Cloud, we need to make sure that this environment variables added Sitecore GraphQL expose playground. Only when this environment variable is added, then only we can access the GraphQL IDE. So now that we understood there is only single API. But if that API is public, it can be a lot of there can be misuses, and it is as particularly we are performing CRUD operations, it can lead to inconsistencies. So to make it, then how that is secured, the API is secured using a JWT token. Then how this JWT token is generated is by using a client ID and secret. But how this client ID and secret are generated is we need to generate an automation client for our environment in the XM cloud, where we will get the what you call the client ID and secret. So how do we create an automation client is we need to log into the deploy app from Sitecore uh, cloud portal, and there we need to go to the credential section, and we need to navigate to the environment tab, and we need to create the credentials. Let me quickly go to that screen in Sitecore. Yeah, basically this is the deploy app, where we need to go to the credentials section in the environment. So as this is an automation client, per environment, we need to create credentials in the environment. We need to go to this create credentials. There we need to create an automation client, and this can be label, can be anything, and description that uh, gives the purpose of your automation client. You can select the project that you want automation client, and inside the project which environment you want to have, you can create it. Once you create the automation client, at the time of creation, it shows both the client ID and client secret. Like client ID can be accessed anytime, but client secret only at the time of um, what you call at the time of creation of the automation client. It is what you call it is available, but afterwards it is not available. So we need to make sure that client secret is stored in a secure place. And yeah, now that we understood how to create an automation client, then now using by creating an automation client, I got the client ID and the client secret. Next step is that we need to generate a token using the client ID and secret. How do we generate the token is by making a post request to this http auth.sitecorecloud.io. This is the token endpoint that we need to call with certain parameters where we need to generate the token. I have created a postman request like, so this is the endpoint auth.sitecorecloud.io slash auth slash token. This is the endpoint. In the body, we need to pass these parameters: audience, grant type, and client ID and client secret. Using these parameters, we can generate the token. So this is the endpoint. Method is post. These are the parameters that we need to point. With using these, the token is generated. This token is by default valid up to 24 hours. Uh, yeah, I got the same token which I had used, but we will get the same token for 24 hours. So this token is used as an to authorize our GraphQL API. So this is how we generate a token. So once we generate the token, we can perform all the types of operations on our target Sitecore instance. What is the target Sitecore instance? The environment where I have created the automation client, that is my target Sitecore instance. There I can perform all the operations. What could be those operations? Like all the authoring related operations, like either I can create the item, fetch the item, rename, and add the version, copy, delete a specific version, archive the version. So these are some of the uh, authoring related mutations. I'll just walk through those, how each of these syntaxes would be. Let's go back to the postman here. So I have set up this postman request in such a way that I read all the variables from the environment, from configured from the environment, like client ID, client secret, and I need the instance, I need the host name as well, and I need the authorization token as well. So I need this authorization token. So as I told previously, slash sitecore slash API slash authoring slash v1 is my uh, endpoint. This host is my sitecore instance. To secure this API, I need to pass this bearer token, that is authorization token. This is generated by the token endpoint. That token endpoint is API dot auth.sitecorecloud.io. So what I have done is I have created a post script for this API endpoint. Once this response is received, it will be updating my authorization token in my environment variable. So these are my environment variables. Client ID, client secret, host, and authentication. These three are fixed. And whenever I'm calling this token endpoint, this auth token would be generated. And let's try to create an item in Sitecore using this um, uh, endpoint using the create item mutation. So this is a post request, and in the body we need to make sure that that is a GraphQL query. And here we need to for any mutation, this is the common endpoint. Only the mutation would be varying. So this is an example of create item mutation. There are certain required parameters that I need to pass to the create item, like the database, it's always the master, and what is the parent at which I need to create the item, using which template I need to create the item, what is the name of the item. For example, I'm making it as SUG Hyderabad, item name as Hyderabad. Uh, Here I'm giving the session on title as session on authoring API, and the text can be anything, and you can add as many fields as you want. And uh, this is the request, and we can configure how the response format should be. For now, I have created a response pattern just to give an idea what are the different response options can be. As a response, I can get the item ID that is created, or the name, path, which language it got created, what is the name, what is the version, what is the template, what is the parent. So we can get all the information. If we can verify if the fields got uh, uh, correctly set or not. If we want to exclude standard fields while retrieval, we can configure that as well. So this is the sample query to create an item. This is just a sample. It contains only two fields, which creates an item under this particular item ID. Always we should make sure that we are using the IDs for consistencies, because there could be certain absolute paths. What you call this create item supports the parent path parameter as well, but we need to make sure that the item IDs are used. So let's try it out. When I try to call this GraphQL endpoint with this body, what is the response I get? So I got this response that item, what is the item ID which it is created, and all the response parameters that whatever I have configured, all available here. So we need to just make sure that the item is created correctly in Sitecore. Let me go back to the Sitecore and check if the item is created properly or not. This is my target Sitecore instance where I have configured it. So this was the parent item. 110D was the parent item which I have given, and under that this item ID got created, like SUG Hyderabad. This is the item that got created with the field session on authoring API. In this way, we are able to with from an external Sitecore external system, or we can attach this to any agentic AI agentic model where any automation client that can be attached to and create the item in Sitecore. Just uh, by without going to the Sitecore, if I want to see if this item is created correctly or not, just I'll copy this item ID and I'll use this search query to get this item details. So here search query expects the database, item ID, language, and version. I'm giving this uh, item ID to check if this returns the data or not. So this is the input parameters, and we can configure the response parameters. What are the in the response? What are the things that I need? If required, you can perform the format as well. So let me try to retrieve the details via authoring API. So once I call this one, I'll be says, yeah, I got the details, the item ID, and with the fields, whatever the fields are there, I got this details. So now that we understood how to create and fetch the item, let's see how to update that item. Whenever we want to update the item which is already created, we can use this update item mutation. Here uh, these are the parameters we need to give which item I need to update. So for now uh, I am giving this item ID of the currently created item, which language I need to update, which version I need to update. So these are kind of required fields that we need to keep, and which fields I need to update. If I want to reset a field to a original value or what is configured in the standard value, I can use this option called reset true if I want to reset this. For now, updated title, I'm keeping this as updated title. And when I try to send this, I got this response that success. Then I'll try to fetch that item again. See that the text is reset to empty and title is used to update. So we can leverage this update item mutation to perform any updates on the Sitecore instance. The next thing is if I want to rename the item, even that has a different mutation here. And yeah, so this is the rename item mutation where we need to pass the item ID again here. I'm giving the item ID that I created just now. For now, SUGHYD started or something like that. I'm giving the new name. And again, as mentioned, for all the API calls, I can configure what is the response format. I am configuring, I'm asking the item name so that I can verify if item has been updated or not. Just I'm sending this. So with this item is updated, we can verify in Sitecore if the item name got updated. Did not get. Yeah, so SUGHD started. Again, if required, I can use this same get item to just from the API, from the mutation perspective, if I want to fetch the check if the item name is updated or not, I'll get this item name is updated. Okay. The next mutation we have is move item mutation. Like if I want to move from move a specific item from one location to another location, I can use this move item mutation. While moving, I can specify the sort order as well. And Also, I need to mention what is my destination path I need to move, and database and which item I need to move. For example, I want to move this specific item which I have just created now. I want to move this item. Let the destination path be, I want to move this item to this sample item GiveQL. Let me give this destination path. Now, using this move item, after this, we can see that uh, the item has been moved to a different location. Again, we can verify using this get item response if the uh, content is, I mean, if the item has been moved or not. So we get the updated path that it has been moved. Like that, we have copy item as well. If I want to copy a particular item to a different location, I can use that copy item mutation. Uh, One advantage of using this copy item mutation instead of normal copy from Sitecore is that in Sitecore, if I want to copy an item without children, that option is not there. But using copy item mutation, I can specify if I want to copy the children or not by using this deep copy parameter. For example, if I want to copy this again sample item, this item, if I want to copy to again the home item, the destination is same. Let the copy sample item, let the name be name, so copy item. If the deep copy is true, it will create with the child items. Let me quickly send this. Yeah, if the deep copy was true, the new item is created with the child item. But copied sample item without deep copy, and if I make this as false, we can see that without it is created with the children. So whenever we want to create copy an item to a different place without the children, if I want to only copy only the parent, I can use this deep copy option. Likewise, we have delete item mutation as well. So if you have been observing, almost each and syntax of each and every mutation is same. Only the difference is the name of the mutation and the parameters that we are passing. So that is the beauty of this GraphQL, and we can configure only the required parameters instead of unnecessarily getting all the parameters. We can configure only the required parameters. And when we see this delete item, for this delete item, we see this option called permanently. So if I want to not to store in the recycle bin as well, I need to set this permanently as true, so that it would be deleted from the recycle bin as well. But always it is better to give a backup. So keep this permanently as false, so that whenever the deletion of item, we can, if required, we can restore it from the recycle bin. But whenever any bulk operations are required and we are 100% sure that we will not require any kind of uh, restoration, then we can make it as permanently as true, if depending upon the use case. This is the delete item mutation. And now that we create We know about all the CRUD operations of item. Even on the item, if I want to create a language version or if I want to create a numbered version, I would be using this add item version mutation. In the add item version mutation, the parameters would be item ID, what is the language I want. This version name is optional. If I want to create, this is just a text optional field. Even without this will work. So what it does is for this item ID, for now, let me update to my item ID. For example, this item ID T4. Currently, it has only English and single version. It contains only English and single version. In this English language, if I want to create one more version, there we can mention this language en. Again, I'm sending this. We can see that version 2 is created. If I want to create a language specific version, PT, I can use this PT as well and call the mutation. So now I need to refresh. Yeah, Portuguese version got created. And yeah, this is how we create an item version. And if I want to delete a version, specific version, I need to mention the language and the version number as well to delete the item version. Yeah, which item I want English. If I want to remove the second version for this particular item ID, now previously we had two versions. Just after delete mutation, we only have a single version. So these are all the operations related to the item uh, item or authoring related mutations. Similarly, we have some workflow related mutations like start workflow. This if I want to set a workflow state to a initial state, I can use this start workflow mutation to set the workflow state to a uh, to the initial workflow state. So this is a simple syntax. We need to use the start workflow. We need to mention the database, item ID, and the version, the language which I want to uh, update the workflow and which version I need to update. So this will update the um, workflow to the initial state. Similarly, if I want to execute any command in the workflow, I can use the execute workflow command similarly, where I need to pass the respective command ID. I need to pass which command I need to execute. Whenever I want to execute a workflow, I need to give this workflow command ID, which command I need to execute and what are the commands and on which item I want to execute this workflow command. I need to provide those parameters. Using this, we can execute the workflow related commands as well from without interacting directly with the Sitecore. If I want to set up an approval mechanism, which from the outside uh, thing, I can create my custom UI application. From there, I can fetch the item details and using the get item details, and I can approve or reject using this execute workflow command. So these are some workflow related mutations that are available. Apart from that, we have publishing related mutations. Yeah, before we move to this publishing related, anyone has any questions?
You can use chat books also for typing in the questions if you have any questions.
Yeah, yeah, I think you can ask questions in the chat. Probably we can take all at the end. Okay. Uh, moving further, uh, we there are publishing related mutations as well. Like if I want to publish certain things using a GraphQL, I can use this publish item mutations. So this, when compared to normal publishing from Sitecore, this provides certain many flexibilities as well. Uh, like uh, uh, General publish operation, I can specify here this display name is just for our purpose to distinguish the job name, but we can specify which languages to publish, which item, if we need to publish, republish or smart publish, if I want to do publish the related items or not, if I want to publish along with the sub items or not. These are the certain parameters. Which item I need to publish, what is the source database, and what is the destination database. These are the parameters that are available in my publish item mutation. Um, as a response, there is one option called this operation ID. Using this operation ID, I can check if what is the status of my publishing. So we have this mutation for publish status. If we have this mutation for publish status, where we can pass this publish operation ID, which will give the current state. Is it queued state, or is it started, or is it running state, or is it done? And what is the response from the how many items are processed, like that we can get it. So always in the publish item mutation, we need to pass the experience edge as a target database, because this is the only database that is supported by the XM Cloud. And when we want from Sitecore, there might be many situations. We might be thinking that I need to specify at 5 to 6 different locations, and some in some languages and some in other languages. Uh, that is not possible from Sitecore. But using this mutations, we can have this. We have this publish with options. Publish with options mutation. Here, what we can do is that we can pass multiple nodes. For each of the node, I can specify different options. Like for this item ID, I need to publish only in English language with republish. And for this item, I need to publish in English along with the related items in smart publish. And like that, I can configure if there are multiple paths that I need to publish. Instead of go inside core, currently we don't have parallelly publishing all those. So here it groups everything into a single job and publishes those as a which helps us in giving a different options to each of those group, and also gives us this control over if I want to publish related items or sub items as well. Yeah, I can also publish specific items in specific languages using the same mutation, like publish with options. Yeah, uh, here I can specify the like in the items to publish, I can specify the item ID and what are the languages that it needs to be published. So that it supports all the use cases. If options are same and only the items and languages are different, in the items to publish, I can use the different item IDs and languages. But if you need completely different options altogether, it supports um, we need to go with publish with options. So it depends upon the use case where which one you need to use. Like either you want to publish, you want, if you have different options that needs to be set for different items, you need to use publish with options mutation. If you want to publish all the options are same, only for certain items, certain language, and for one other item, other language, then we need to use this publish language specific mutation. And for all those publish related mutations, we have this operation ID as a response, which that operation ID can be used as in the cancel publish, sorry, either to cancel if I some by mistake if I realized that uh, it should have not been published and it is currently in queued or not yet started, you can use this cancel publishing mutation to pass this publish operation ID. Based on that, I'll get the response if the cancel has been successful or not. I can use this publish status as well to fetch the publish what you call the status of the publishing operation. This is about the publishing related mutations, and we also have certain management related mutations, like if I want to populate solar indexes or rebuild the links database or rebuild indexes or clean up databases, we have different mutations available there as well, like populate managed schema. If I want to populate from an external system, that can be done. If I want to rebuild links database, uh, I can rebuild using the rebuild the links database mutation. And if I want to rebuild all the indexes or rebuild a specific solar index, I can use this mutation rebuild indexes. And if I want to perform the cleanup of the databases, even that can be done using the mutation. Um, Cleanup database. Uh, I'm just not going into details of each and every mutation. I want to just give you information that all these mutations are available. Similarly, we have mutations to create templates as well. Like if I want to create a template in Sitecore, I can use the create template and I can use the update template mutation. But as per XMC, ideally we should be using this items as resource for the templates. So we should not, we should, I can say that we should not be using this templates mutations. We just as they are available, I'm showing those. Similarly, we have this media related mutations where I can upload a media using this mutation. So what I can do is I use this upload media mutation. First, we need to call this endpoint with this. We need to call this endpoint. This is a authoring slash media slash upload endpoint with whatever the sorry. First, we need to call the upload media endpoint. It generates me a pre-signed URL. Using that pre-signed URL, whatever the pre-signed URL that is generated, I can upload my media item to that Sitecore instance. So whenever I am in the upload media, the options are what is my destination path of that media item I need to give. So based on this destination path, I'll get a pre-signed URL. I'll use that pre-signed URL to upload my media to that Sitecore. So these are certain mutations that are available in Sitecore. Now that we understood all these mutations are available in Sitecore, let's just quickly try to see what are the of the scenarios where these mutations can be applied. There could be like thousands of scenarios. These are some of the scenarios just I have given for a demonstration purpose, like one of the use case could be language translations. We'll cover in detail in the next slide about this language translations. The other could be if I want to periodically sync a data with the third-party systems. That is one use case where we can use this mutations. And if I want to do kind of scheduled maintenance operations like doing rebuilding indexes on the weekends, or if I want to perform cleanup databases, or if I want to populate any solar schema from, then we can use this. And I have not included there, but we have this authorization security related mutations like add role to a user, or add roles to roles, or delete role, or what you call, there are like security related mutations as well. We can use that security related roles as well, I mean mutations, to integrate with a kind of third parties, the author access management system. The access management system can be either Azure Entra, where syncing up of the roles from Azure Entra to Sitecore, or it could be Okta authorization to Sitecore, or it could be uh, access management system like SailPoint, Savient, SailPoint. From there as well, we can uh, sync the access permissions from there to there, and any agentic automations we can use that. Just let's explore more about this language translations. Yeah. So this is one of the use case where mutations can be used. So whenever an item version is created inside core, we can use a webhook to trigger the that an item version is created. We can use a webhook to trigger that, and in our app, we can write a custom application to fetch this English content data using GraphQL, fetch those content from the XM cloud using GraphQL, and send that data to OpenAI. Any, it could be any, here I have given OpenAI, but it could be any AI or anything that helps in the translation. It could be third party translation providers as well. uh, get the translated data, and once the return translation data is returned, we'll use the create item version mutation to update the or create the version in Sitecore using the uh, create item version or add item version mutation. We can add the language translation. So this is one of the use case where we'll leverage the get item mutation, as well as the we will be leveraging Sitecore webhook to understand that language version has been created, and we will be using uh, add item version to update the content in the language version. So this is one of the use case where the Sitecore authoring mutations can be used. Other could be scheduled publishing, like I can create a Vercel cron job. In the Sitecore, I can set up the publish restrictions when item could be published, and in the Vercel, I can create a cron job that will read the item IDs, and based on the items that are configured, we can publish, as we can use, as there are multiple publish related mutations that are available, like publish with options, publish with languages, different language versions. We can use one of those mutations to perform publishing. We can create an XJS application to call the GraphQL mutations on Sitecore, and we can use the status mutation to check if the status is done, and we can get the synchron, I mean we can get the real-time update as well by just pulling the status request. We'll get the status, so we can maintain the dashboard of those scheduled jobs. Either we can create a UI where we can give the option to schedule all the paths that I want to do, and using here I have used Vercel cron job as an example, but it could be any technology. It could be .NET Hangfire that supports the uh, scheduling, or it could be any other agent, or it could be Windows scheduler, or any scheduler that can be. We can call an XJS API. In the XJS API, we use the publish mutations to perform publish operations. So this is one of the use case where can be used. The other use case could be if I have a pricing data that is on the third party system, and that needs to be updated site on Sitecore. So we'll uh, we'll set up a what you call sync mechanism from the third-party pricing API and using this update item mutations or add item version mutation, we can update the um, uh, we can update it in Sitecore. Yeah, we already are aware about general use cases like if there are bulk item imports that needs to, if we need to read from Excel sheet and uh, create the items inside core. Even there, I can create my own custom application to read the data from the CSV file, and using this create item mutations, I can create the item inside core. Or else we can using the get item mutations, or there are a lot of queries that are supported by the authoring API. We can prepare the dashboards as well, like how many items are logged, how many items are archived, how many are in a particular workflow state. So there are n number of scenarios where which we can leverage authoring API or this particular GraphQL API. So my primary motto of this is to just give you all brief about all the options that are available that supports. Yeah, we can explore. There could be a lot of more to explore on there as well, but this is just kind of an give you a high level understanding about this. Yeah, anyone has any questions?
Open for questions. You can ask or you can type in the chat box if you're not able to unmute yourself. Any questions? Chandrakant, I think it's a really great presentation because this deep level analysis and these deep level use cases and other things will not be provided easily because we have to take a lot of effort to put everything in this because you did a great job on this presentation, and also I think it is really helpful to understand like few things like putting all the workflow like in the if we import a lot of content into Sitecore, right? Putting it into workflow would be the PowerShell or something that would take a lot of time, but this mutation helps us to put it in a like very less amount of time. So I
Yeah,
think these are like tricks or tips I would say, and this is really great presentation. Thank you.
yeah,
If no other questions, we are good for today, and happy weekend and happy ahead of time. Okay. Thank you all. Bye bye.
yeah. Thanks everyone.